Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. This is Tamika's Den. I am Tamika, and this is the Oval, y'all. Okay, the season finale. All right, Roadkill. This is season 3, episode 22. Honey, only thing I was worried about in this episode is Sam making it out safe and Priscilla making it out safe. Okay, and I was hoping they wasn't gonna give us a bunch of damn foolishness. But anyway, let's get into it. So, we have Priscilla asking Alan, what was that all about? He's like, I don't know. He was like, she's like, well, does he always come by? Is this usual for him? Of course, Alan talking about she asking him too many questions. And she's like, nah, I got a bad feeling about this. We got to get up out of here. Something don't feel right. And I know one thing, to always follow my gut. And you are 100% right with that, Miss Priscilla. Okay, we always have to follow our gut anytime we feel anything. So Alan over here busy still trying to throw jabs like, aren't you just a cook? It doesn't matter whether she's a cook or not. First of all, Alan, always listen to Black Woman. If you didn't know, now you know. All right. And so not only that, you keep trying to throw shots like, aren't you just a cook? But aren't you just Donald's little assistant that was working in his office, and you sure as hell ain't having a problem with sneaking in a damn gun and walking in Hunter's office and acting like you was about to do something. So boy, hush and listen. But needless to say, she start asking him, well, how many times have he passed by? Like I said, is this a usual thing for him? And he's like, well, not really. He was like, he had just started coming and he may have came about 2 or 3 times. So she like, well, think back to the other times. What was some of the other times that he came and what he was saying and why he was there, that type of thing. And he's like, well, the first time was because of the fact that Jason was here and that he had came and attacked Ellie, and she's like, what? And he was like, yeah. She was like, well, how did he get here? And of course she lets him know, well, he lets her know about Jason being in the trunk, that he snuck out in the trunk the same way that his sister did. I forgot all about that. Them damn kids is off the hook. And so, she's actually acting like she's surprised about that part. Like, what? Oh my God. So, of course, she's asking him, like, well, that's not one of the things you mentioned to me. Remember when she was telling him, that he tell her everything and she tell him everything. And he's like, well, shit, it slipped my mind. Listen, a lot of damn things done happened, okay? And Priscilla was telling him, we need to get out of here because Donna is really dangerous. And Alan is telling her, well, no, I don't really think he would do anything to me. She was like, well, why would you say that? What would make you feel that comfortable? And he over here talking about because he likes me. She's like, well, what do you mean by that? He was like, he likes me like me. So she's like, what do you mean by that? He like, I don't know. He was like, I just feel like, he's bisexual and that sometimes he looks at me the way that I look at women. Just trust me on this. And so she's like, nah, we need to get up out of here. Something not right. Put your shoes on. Let's go. She's asking him, you know, what was another time he came, and he was like, well, he came, with Cal to basically get him out of here and, all of that kind of stuff. And so at first he was trying to argue with her and be like, no, he wasn't going nowhere, whatever, this is crazy. And she was like, I said, put your shoes on and come on. So he does put his shoes on and they get up to go. And he basically opens up the door. No, before that, she took out the gun from her purse. And he was like, wow, you had a gun in there the whole time? He was like, thank God he didn't look in the purse. And so he goes and open the door talking about something. You happy now? And you got her in grip, literally like this as soon as the daggone door is open, okay? And I need her to shoot grip ass up and get the hell up out of there, okay? That is what I need. And so we then get Nancy worrying about Barry, okay? All of a sudden she thinking and worrying, well, we're all here together, we're safe, we don't know where he is, you need to get him back here. Richard's still trying to talk about, well, I'm not gonna have him in here disrespecting people. And Nancy's like, listen, if we gonna be keeping all these people safe, we damn sure gotta keep our son safe. I don't feel secure knowing that we all in here together and he's out there. She was like, I'm gonna need you to call him, okay, and get him back home. You need to call him. And she was not trying to let up on that, okay? She don't give a damn what he's talking about with the disrespect at this point, okay? She was like, you have this boy in here, but not your own son, regardless of disrespect or not. So I appreciated Nancy saying that, okay, I get it. And so Richard, of course, is telling her, look, these people could be killed. This is a serious situation. She was like, look, I get all of that. And of course, her nerves is bad. And he telling her, Nancy, I was a soldier. And I'm not going to let nothing happen. I got this, okay? Everything is going to work out. We just got to get past this part. And he's telling her that he have to step out for a minute. And so, she was like, I'm still worried about Barry. Okay, I get all of that and I believe you, but you got to go ahead and call him. So he's like, okay, I'm going to call him. So he calls him, but he doesn't get an answer. And he does say that he's going to continue to call him. But like I said, he does need to step out and take care of something. He will be right back. She says that she's going to be calling him as well. And he was like, okay, cool. He just want to make sure that they on the same page. And so basically, she was saying, with him out there, you don't know who else he could have possibly talked to and if he could be in danger too. And he was like, well, he haven't talked to anybody. Nobody else knows anything. He was like, Nancy, I need you to calm down, okay? I need us to be on the same page and you to understand where I'm coming from. He was like, now you just go upstairs and you get some rest. And in the meantime, I'm going to keep calling him. I'm going to go to my meeting. I'm going to be back. So, that was that on that, and that's what they agreed to do. And they're both gonna continue to call him and see if either one of them get an answer and keep each other updated. And so we have Mr. Donald coming in. Apparently Hunter's assistant ended up calling him, and Hunter's like, where are you? Where did you disappear to? Why weren't you there when I needed you? And so he's like, what happened, sir? What's going on? And of course, Donna was like, she killed him. And he's like, kills who, sir? What are you talking about? Like, what is happening? And she was like, Victoria killed Jason. And he's like, what? And so he goes and pulls up a chair and sits next to him. And he's like, I'm right here, sir. I'm right here. Talk to me. Tell me what happened, acting all concerned. I don't mean to laugh, but when we see what happened a little bit later, you know why I'm laughing, because Donald was acting like he was so, worried and surprised and shocked by this news. And so, Hunter says he doesn't trust her. He doesn't even want to be in the same room with her. Either he wants to be moved, she be moved, something, but he's not going to be there with her ass, okay? And Donna was saying that he's sure that, he can get that done. He could take care of that for him. He could understand, why he would feel that way or whatever the case may be. And he's like, she's not going to want to do that, or she's not going to want to agree to that, or whatever have you. And Hunter don't give a damn, okay? He could care less about what she want, what she don't want, or any of that, at least not for this minute. And he was like, how could she do something like that? He was fine. He gives him the whole breakdown that the surgeon said he was fine, that he was going to be okay. All of a sudden she had came to the hospital and he stepped out for a minute. And once he stepped out, and she was in there by herself, of course, the alarm started going off, or the doctors had to rush in. And once they came back out, they pronounced him dead. And so you got Donald like, oh my God, sir. Wow. And, he talking about, wait, sir, are you sure? And so he was like, yeah, she said so, and then Donald's like, oh my God. And so Hunter talking about, I can't believe this. I can't believe she would do this. I don't know why not. I can't believe she would kill her own son. She was telling y'all this shit the whole time, okay? And so he says, I know he was trouble. I know he was broken. I know he had his, issues, but God help us all. And so for about 2 seconds, Hunter was acting like he actually had a heart, and he was acting like he actually did care whatever was going on with Jason. And so, of course, like I said, he was asking to be moved. And then Donald was like, well, I know this is going to sound bad, sir, but maybe she actually did what she thought was best for you. And he was like, are you freaking kidding me? What is wrong with you people, right? All of a sudden, Hunter gets a moral compass, like I said, for about 2 seconds, all right? And so then he starts to tell Donald about, well, you know what I need? Because, he was like, listen, sir, tell me what I could do. Tell me how I could help you or whatever have you. And Hunter tells him, okay, yeah, I could actually, number one, use a woman. That's always his first go-to. He's like, get me that girl and get me Cal, because Cal got cocaine and I need cocaine, okay? And Donna was telling him, like, listen, sir, it doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying? I can't just go and get the girl. He was like, yes, you can. And he was like, telling him she may not want that. And he was like, of course she does. Everybody wants me, all right? And then he also says, that everybody wants money and power. They love this shit, okay? So why wouldn't she want to be here with me, okay? Because you know Hunter and his crazy ass, that's the part of him that I don't like, how quickly he changed from the concerning, grieving parent to the regular a-hole that we know he can be, all right? And so, of course, he's asking even for Grip, and Donald was telling him Grip stepped out for a minute, but he's gonna find him. He's gonna take care of this. Don't worry about it. Well, honey, Hunter feel like Donald is moving too slow for him, because as soon as Donald leaves out, he calls the front, and he ends up speaking to Alfonso, and he tells him to hurry up and get back there, because Alfonso was also telling him that Grit was not there, which, Donald had pretty much already told him that. And he says, well, then you come, hurry up, put a move on it. I need you in here ASAP, okay? And so, you have Richard still trying to call Barry, and he finally does get through to Barry. And he's just telling him to come home over and over. Of course, Barry like, listen, you already done cursed me out. You know what I mean? You said I was being disrespectful. I'm okay. I got a friend house I could stay by. And Richard is basically like, look, no, I need you to come home and look after your mom. Barry's like, oh, come on, don't try to use her as an excuse and throw her in there on me. Don't do that. And he's like, no, seriously, you know what's going on here. You know there's a lot of danger. I need you to stay here, make sure your mom is okay while I make this quick run. I'll be back. I get why you feel the way you feel, but this is a crazy situation that we're in. We got to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? It's not nobody's fault. And, I would like to make sure that you're okay and you're under the same roof as everybody else, too. And really what it boiled down to is Richard was tired of Nancy getting on his daggone nerves. So he wanted him to come home so he would not have to hear her mouth, okay? So he's like, son, just do what I say. Just please come home, forget about all the other rest of it and the arguments we was having and all that, and get your behind here, okay? And so finally Barry does agree and was like, all right, I'm gonna come, and Richard basically was telling him that he loves him, and then Barry's like, like it's gonna make his teeth fall out if he say it back, but he does tell him that he loves him too, and he does say that he is gonna come home. So at that point, Richard calls Nancy in and, tells her, like, I spoke to Barry, he's okay, and he said he's on his way home. And so he's like, make sure you speak to Sharon and make sure y'all keep him calm. I'm like saying, okay, now it's Sharon's job to keep him calm. But Nancy agrees and apparently thinks that this is a good idea. She says that she will does that. Her nerves is a little calmer knowing that Barry is coming home. She tells him thank you, and he says, like I said, that he needs to step out and take care of something and that he is going to be back in a little while. And so, you then had Nancy calling Sharon in after that and telling her about Barry coming, and she's like, you know how he is already, and you know how Kareem is, and you know how they are together, so I'm gonna need you to be the one to keep heads cool. I can't deal with no whole bunch of foolishness. My nerves is already bad as it is. I don't need nothing on top of that. Again, I'm confused as to why that became Sharon's job, but Sharon is apparently saying I know, and she's agreeing to it, and she's saying, trust me, as soon as all of this is over and we can get out of here, we will definitely be getting the heck up out of here. And she's apologizing over and over, and Nancy's telling her, you don't need to apologize. This is nobody's fault. That these damn people are psychos. And so, Sharon basically says to Nancy, well, I don't think we're gonna have to worry about him right now, because with his son being sick and being in the hospital, he should be more so focused on that. At least that would buy us some time. And Nancy says, I would not count on that. And she was like, well, what you mean by that? She was like, well, nothing, like I heard some things about him or whatever. So just keep that in mind, and be mindful of that, and don't feel so free to automatically assume, in other words, that his behind wouldn't still be crazy, okay? A crazy person gonna be crazy regardless. And so Sharon is saying, you can't tell me something like that and then be like, oh, well, no, never mind, don't worry about it or whatever have you. But she tells her, it's nothing for her to keep apologizing for. And like I said, we all feel sorry about the situation, and, we're going to get through this and that type of thing, right? And so then you have Hunter saying to Alfonso, well, it took you long enough to get here, get over here. And he's like, did you call anyone? And he says, no. He said, did you tell anyone you was coming in here? No. Did you friends with Grip, right? And he's like, yes. He was like, y'all talk a lot. And he was like, yes, sir. He was like, okay, so you know how Gripland operates. And Alfonso saying, yeah, he do. Alfonso? I'm not too sure. And so he was telling him, I seen y'all guys talking and I see that y'all pretty much get along. He was like, you're going to take a little trip. He asked him who's his boss. He tells Hunter, you are. He was like, good. So you already know I'm the one you report to. I'm the one you answer to. You're going to go ahead and put these on and I need you to come out with me. I'm going to give you an address, to bring me to. And so Griplin was like, sir, maybe I should tell the chief of staff. No, you don't need to tell anybody. There's no motorcade. There's no chief of staff. It's just me and you getting out of the White House. So you're going to take your car and I'm going to sit in the back and I'm going to give you this address. He was like, that's all you got to remember. And so, again, he says, who's your boss? And again, Alfonso says that, it's him. And he's like, I'm your responsibility. It's your duty to do what I say. And Alfonso says, all right. So he starts to change into this hat and jacket and stuff. And he's basically like, you got any other questions? And Alfonso tells him, no, sir. And so they are, going to be off to go to this address that he's going to give him. And he basically was like, what do you have, a Toyota Teresi or something? And he was like, no, it's a Prius. And he was like, oh, a Prius, well, I'm going to sit in the back anyway. And then he talking about some, what you trying to save the environment. And, Alfonso was like, I don't know about all of that. I'm not sure. And he was like, oh, so you in the carpool lane? And he was like, yeah. So nonetheless, Hunter's like, all right, let's go. Okay. And Alfonso's going on in with him, and I'm like, Alfonso, I think you in over your head, boo, because it ain't in you like it's in Grippin and, Cal and the rest of them, okay? And he don't even know where the hell Hunter is taking him to. So you have Donald finally go see Victoria, and he's asking her, like, what's going on? What did you do? And she was like, oh, are you supposed to be the principal and I'm supposed to be the student getting in trouble now? Did Hunter call you? He's like, yes, he did. And so he's like, what the hell did you do? And she basically tells him, like, well, I don't know why you asking me. I basically used the damn drug that you gave me. And so he talking about some shh. And she was like, oh, yeah, plausible deniability or whatever. And he was like, I don't know what you're talking about, man, but I do know that you need to get downstairs and you need to go speak to him because he's having a real hard time. He's going into a depression. He's very upset. He wants girls. He wants cocaine. She's like, of course, that's always his first go-to. So she was like, well, I'm not about to F him. Okay, maybe you can. And she was like, oh, I like the way you blush. And so Donald's telling her, look, we ain't got time to be sitting here playing games. I need to go home and take care of some business there. And you need to get downstairs and talk to your daggone husband, okay? Go into the Oval and do whatever you can to help him because I need to go home, all right? I ain't got time to keep sitting here playing with you and your man. And so then she basically was like, she don't want to be bothered with it either. She was like, that's your 5-year-old to deal with, okay? She just, she was like, I got other stuff to do. I got to, be able to get my face on to look like I'm sad and concerned and mourning or whatever the case may be. You go talk to him. And of course they go back and forth about that for a minute. And he was like, no, you're going to go to your husband. Do you understand? At this point, he not asking no more. He is telling her, and he's like, I'm going home now. So he go ahead and walk out the door. And, of course, Victoria is, going out the door a couple minutes after him and was like, these damn people, they worthless. I got to do everything myself type of thing. Now I got to go down here and be bothered with this, a-hole. And so, you have Cal saying to Sam, oh, I see all the blood all over and, are you still with me? Are you still there? And so Sam basically shoots the gun at him and he's like, oh, okay, wow, yeah, you still hanging in there, you still with us. And I'm like, that's right, Sam, you hang the hell on. And so we have Bobby and Max finally come through, baby. And I was so freaking happy to see them coming on in there. They was basically like, okay, Sam, we here. We got to get you out of here. he's bleeding out. They was like, we got you, we got you. They telling, of course Max want to stay there with Cal. Okay, he been wanting to dance with Cal for God knows how long, and he's like, Bobby, you take him to the hospital, okay, and I will stay here. But of course Sam is saying no. You already know how bad Kyle wants him. Kyle would end up killing him, and Sam is like, we still need him alive. He's still very important. Without him, we can't get certain information out there. Of course, that ends up being an argument back and forth between Bobby and Cal, of which one should stay. And then Bobby finally says, look, I'm gonna stay. You go ahead and take him. I'm gonna hold on to him till you get back here. But we gotta get Sam out of here. That's the most important thing. He's literally bleeding out over here. So we gotta make sure that he's safe. And of course, it takes Max a minute, but Max is like, okay, I'm gonna get him out of here, and then I'm gonna be right back. They're telling Sam that they got the codes. Don't worry about them. And Max is telling Bobby, I will be right back. I'm gonna come right back here from the hospital. And so, Cal is of course taunting Max, talking about, don't leave me, Max, don't go. And then he's saying, ooh, Bobby, is that you? I'm glad you're here with me. I missed you. And, Bobby telling him, I missed you too. And he was like, what do you say? You come around here and, we hug it out. And Bobby's like, nah, that ain't gonna happen. He was like, Cal tells him, well, looks like we're gonna be here a long time. Bobby says, that's good. I'm in here for the long run, okay? And he was like, I got some hot pieces of lead for that ass. And so Kyle talking about, ooh, I was hoping you would have something else for that ass. And Bobby was like, not gonna happen. And Kyle says, yeah, wishful thinking. I said, they is a daggone mess. And so they both just kind of sitting back behind, got these tables in front of them, guarding them, and they kind of laying back for a minute or whatever, because like they said, this is about to be a long daggone haul, okay? Too long, in my opinion, all right? I want them to get the hell to it. But nonetheless, just as, Miss Nancy asked, here comes Sharon as soon as Barry come walking in the door. First Barry mom, of course Nancy apologizes to him. He says it's okay, mom, don't worry about it. She was like, she's glad to have him here and know that he's safe and he's under one roof. He trying to go upstairs. Here comes Sharon giving him apologizing to him. And he's just like, Sharon, girl, bye. Like, okay. He was like, you ain't got to come and be saying all this to me. And she was like, no, I mean it. And she was like, with everything that's going on, can't you at least be nice to me and show some type of compassion? And she trying to hug and kiss up on him. And I don't blame him. Like, okay, Sharon, it's one thing to be nice and civilized because y'all got to be underneath the same roof. But all this phony shit and coming and trying to hug and kiss and squeeze him when you don't know daggone well you ain't want to be bothered with him, and you got Kareem there too on top of it. Like, stop it. And like I said, I didn't understand why Nancy and Richard was telling her to keep him calm in the first place. I didn't agree with that part, but it is what it is. So one minute, Barry is trying to push her away. The next minute, he falling into it and he letting her hold him, but he was telling her that she needs to make up her mind, okay? And I agree there because you playing games, Sharon, okay? And so she was like, all I know is that we have a history and we could at least be nice and we could hug. Come on, give me a hug. And she's pulling his arms around her. And she says, thank you. Was that so hard? Because he does finally give in and hug her. He says it was actually, but then he starts smiling a little bit. And then, of course, here comes Kareem right on cue. And he got to go to the bathroom. But, of course, they giving each other, evil looks, and then Dale is saying, come on, it's right around the corner, come on, I'll show you where it is. And Sharon is saying, look at me, and following behind Barry up the stairs. And I'm like, cut it out. So of course Dale, does show Kareem where the bathroom is, and Kareem at this point is like, yo, I shouldn't be here, I should just go. He was like, look at that, did you see that? And Dale says, yeah, he saw it, but it's not nothing there, you know what I'm saying? And she just was trying to keep him calm and that type of thing. And so Dell says, yeah, you should stay here because we trying to stay here and stay safe. And he was like, I said, telling him, I don't think there's anything to that. He's asking him how he knows. He was like, I just do, you know what I mean? That's not who she trying to be with. She just, like I said, is trying to keep him calm. And, everything is so crazy in here right now. So she just wants him to know that everything could be all right. and keep it as peaceful as it could be while we still here. And so Kareem talking about I'm leaving, and Dell essentially just pushes him in the bathroom like, no, go use the bathroom, calm your behind down. Kareem talking about where's the light. He gotta turn the light on for him like he a damn baby. And then he's like, thanks. Okay. And so we have the second lady asking what's going on. They should have been here by now. Everyone should have been here by now. And they've been gone for a long time. And so um the VP is like, I don't know. I'm trying to wait for their call and see what the heck is going on or whatever the case may be. She talking about, do you want me to call? So again, I say the damn second lady is running this, not the VP, okay? But then his phone rings as soon as they are saying that, and it's Max. And of course, Max is trying to give him an update. He's like, it's me, sir. Sam has been shot. The VP is asking, is he okay? He's like, yeah, he's in the hospital. What? And then he's like, yes, sir, and they like, what happened? He was like, well, Kyle got a gun in the bunker, and the VP's asking how that happened. He's like, well, Sam says somebody gave it to him, well, how could that happen? And why would they do that? What the hell you mean, why would you do that? You already know they got inside people and they doing things. So the fact that this VP keep acting like he's shocked when stuff happened is really blowing my damn mind. Max says, well, probably to sabotage them. And he's like, oh, wow. So, basically, he tells him that, he is okay. He's in the hospital and Bobby's holding Cal and he's on his way back there. He needs to get back to the bunker. And so, of course, the VP is telling him, like, listen, we need, Cal alive. He's a big part of the evidence and a big part of the information that we need. Do you understand? And of course, Max tells him he do understand, yes, sir. And then he was like, report back to me when you get any info. So of course, when he hangs up, the first lady is saying, what the heck happened? And he's basically getting her up to date. And she was like, well, is Sam okay? He was like, from what I understand, he was like, I really need to get some backup there. She talking about, oh, this is so incredibly dangerous. Yes, it is. You know what I mean? And so she was like, but you know what? Everything is going to be fine. And so he says, like I said, they need some backup. And the second lady is saying, backup from where? Where would you get them? He was like, I don't know, but I know we at least need to send somebody to the hospital to be on Sam. Yes, you do. And he was like, and Bobby and Max is going to need backup. But she says, well, who can we trust and who would you send? She was like, they're going to have to go ahead and handle it because there's no one that we can trust. You know what I'm saying? They're on their own. And she was like, well, they'll handle it. They'll handle it. They'll be fine. And I'm like, are you sure, lady? I mean, y'all ain't got at least 2 damn people y'all could call when y'all set all this up and y'all knew how dangerous they was. Y'all didn't think about any other things happening and any other precautions to take. So y'all really wasn't ready, was y'all? Because y'all playing games. But nonetheless, we do see Sam in the hospital bed, safe and sound, okay? And he is telling Max, Max, I need you to do something for me. And of course, Max just want to get back to that daggone, bunker where Cal is at, okay? He ain't trying to hear what Sam talking about. He thinking that Sam still want to tell him, about Cal. But Sam is actually asking him to call Richard. And he's like, what's his number? He was like, it's in my phone. But at the same time, Sam is telling him, like, listen, you cannot, kill Cal. And he's like, I heard you 12 times already, okay? And he says, I'm calling him now, but he does tell Sam that you should have left him in the box. And Sam says that wasn't going to happen. He was like, well, if you would have left him in the box, then your ass wouldn't have ended up here. And so, of course, Sam is like, please don't. And so he does call Richard. And Richard answers, and Richard is looking confused because he's hearing a voice he don't recognize. He's like, who's this? He tells him it's Max, but then he's looking at his phone and he's like, well, why are you calling me from Sam's phone? And he was like, well, no time to explain, but Sam is in the hospital. And Richard is like, what? He was like, yeah, he's in St. Rhodes Hospital. And then, Richard talking about, is he all right? He was like, yeah, but I need to get back to something. Can you get here? And so Richard says, yes, let him go in and tell the vice president. He was like, no, we don't have time for that. You got to get here now. And I already called the vice president and told him what's going on. And so Richard says, okay, he's on his way. And he asked again, if Sam is okay. And, Max basically says, yeah. He was like, well, I got to call his wife. And I'm like, yes, somebody check on Priscilla because y'all not checking on Priscilla enough for me, okay? Nobody knows that she went to Allen Damn house. I think except for Alfonso, he's the only one that knows. Alfonso busy driving damn Hunter around. And so, nonetheless, he says that he's gonna call him. All right. Now we got Miss Lily behind, sneaking in Donald Place, or thinking she's sneaking. Okay, she coming in. How she thought she was just gonna get from the hotel to there, and there's no problem. She ain't even trying to be low key. All of a sudden, hair done, outfit cute, and all this. Okay, she getting the money and whatever else out of the safe, and she look around every once in a while or whatever. But pretty much just stomping on in, and she grabbing the money out, and she'll look back every so often and grab the money out. Well, honey child, what you think happened? Okay. Soon as she finished getting all the money out, she walks over to the side and she's standing there for a minute, calling herself listening. And here comes Donald. You don't gotta hide, baby. Come on out. I know you there. And so, of course, Lily comes around the corner and she's talking about, uh, hey, and her and Donald killed me with their back and forth banter, but it was like this wasn't the time for that. We could have cut some of that out. We really did not need it, okay? Because we need to get back to Priscilla and see what the heck was happening with her. But of course, Tyler Perry ain't gonna do what I want him to do because he just gotta do what he feel like doing, all right? And so, nonetheless, like I said, she hiding behind this daggone wall, and of course, Donald's like, "Come on out, baby. I know you. There's no need to hide. Okay, come on out." And so, of course, she come from around the corner, and like I said, she telling him, because he told her it was no Secret Service at the door. He was like, "Come on, did you really think it was gonna be that easy? Like, you just come in and you see ain't nobody around, and you thought it was just sweet, right?" And so she comes out and she tells him, he talking about, "Hey, beautiful." I can't with Donald sometimes. So she told him to give him the keys and give her the keys. She was like, "I'm leaving." And he said, "Oh, you want the keys to my car?" He said, "Well, you do know they could track those." She was like, "Not if you dead." Okay. What was him being dead have to do with tracking the car? I don't know, but that is what she tells him. And so, Lily does pull out a gun and she says she's going to leave, and that, because he was telling her, like, "Oh, you know, just because you didn't see no Secret Services." Like, he knew she was coming. He already got the call. Remember, he already knew where Lily was at. If he really wanted to go to the hotel and get her, he could have got her the whole time, but he wanted to wait for her to get there, okay? But, of course, Lily doesn't know all of that. She swears she doing something, right? And so when he's telling her that the Secret Service is going to get her, that they'll be back, she's like, "Oh, no, they won't, because you already sent them away." And she essentially tells him, what they're not going to be expecting her next move, which would be to blow his brains out, okay? And so that is when she was basically pointing the gun at him. And he's like, "Oh, honey, oh, that's what you're going to do? Oh, I'm so scared." And she was like, "Remember, I shot Bobby." And he was like, "Oh, yeah, I remember, you grazed him, right?" And so she was like, "Yeah." So she's like, "Well, give me the keys." And so, of course, he didn't go and put it in her hand. He throws it over, to the table, and he tells her to get it from there. He was like, "Okay, hey, here." He was like, "They right there on the table." And so she was like, "Now move away from it." And he was like, "Oh, come on now, Lily." And she was like, "What?" And he was like, "Why you want to kill me?" She's talking about, "Because you tried to get your bottom bitch to kill me." And he was like, "That stuff is in the past." She was like, "That ain't in no damn past." And he was like, "Oh, baby, a couple hours ago was the past." And so, of course, she's still telling him to move. And he's basically like, you know how much I love you. I'm like, "Stop it, Donald." She was like, "You got a strange way of showing it." And he was like, "We could have had a good life together. This could have been a real good life." And she was like, "Yeah, you, me, and Cal." And he was like, "There's no more Cal. Cal is gone." I can't lie. Donald does crack me up. And then she was like, "Nah, I'm not going anywhere," whatever. And of course she keeps just telling him to move. And he says, "Okay, move back. This is where you want me, baby. Wherever you want me, that's where I'm at." Okay. You want me here, I'm here. Okay. And so she basically still keeps saying, yeah, that's where I want you. Keep going. I want you right there. Go stand right there, you know. And so he's basically like, okay, baby, whatever you want is all yours. You know, like I said, they kill me with the back and forth banter. And so, you know, just a little bit back, just right there. And so then she go ahead and she get her hands on the keys. And so he's still talking about that's where you want me, you got me. And she was like, yeah. And so she was like, this reminds me of our honeymoon a little bit. And he was like, oh yeah. She was like, yeah, you know. And she gonna talk about some he said, well, you seem to enjoy it and like it, you know, at that time. And she was like, I thought I did, you know, all 4 inches. And he gonna talk about, oh no, baby, I think you wasn't, you know, seeing too good. The light must have been bothering your eyes or some mess like that. Okay, so nonetheless, when Lily turns and goes to, you know, walk out the door, she does get shot. Okay, there is Secret Service there. She gets shot in the daggone shoulder. She ends up falling back on the floor. Donna was like, see, I told you, you know, you thought it was a game. And so Lily does end up raising up her hand. I guess she said, listen, if I'm going to go, you going to go too. And Lily shoots damn Donald ass. I think it was 2 times. It looked like one went in the chest and one went in the stomach. I don't know. We shall see. But I'll take that, okay? I was happy with it. I'm like, yes, Lily, come on, girl. That's right. Shoot his ass up. He at least deserves that, okay? And so, you know, you have Sharon, Dale, Kareem, and Miss Nancy sitting in the living room, right? I'm assuming that Barry was still upstairs. And you have Dale telling them, you know, wow, I see up here that the freaking, you know, Jason died, the president's son died. And then Sharon's like, oh my God, no. And they're asking him where he see that. And he says that he sees it on this blog. And then she was like, what? That is so horrible. You know, they're saying that there are rumors that their son died. And so she was like, that poor boy. And Sharon was like, I know, right? And she was like, to basically, you know, have a father like that. Child, who come walking in the damn house, not a damn sound, and you mean to tell me y'all supposed to be hiding out when they're supposed to be secure and ain't nobody had the damn doors locked, and Hunter come in talking about something and what's wrong with me? Y'all. Oh God, sometimes I could just send Tyler Perry straight to jail. Okay, send him straight to jail. He know what he doing. That was basically the end of the episode, y'all. So what do y'all think? You know what I'm saying? What is gonna happen? Is my girl Priscilla gonna shoot up? Dad gonna grip behind like I want her to? Okay, or she gonna get to find out what the heck is happening with Sam? Is Richard even gonna be able to know what's going on and get back to his damn house? What the heck is Hunter about to do? He basically have them all in one spot. It ain't like he gotta even go to different spots. He got Dell there, he got Sharon there, he got Cal there. Is Barry gonna come through and end up taking out Hunter? Like, is Alfonso gonna be able to stop Hunters, or Alfonso about to go down with get involved in all this mess too? I don't know, y'all, but put it all in the comments. Tell me what you thought about this, you know, episode in this season and what you expecting for season 4. They did get approved for season 4, but I'm not too sure when it's coming. They got approved for season 4. Sisters got approved for season 5. I know that they actually already have filmed season 4 last year, and I believe Sisters is being filmed now, you know, as far as season 5 go, and they come back in June. But whenever it does come back, I will be reviewing both of those. But yeah, y'all put it all in the comments. Let me know how y'all feel. Till next time, talk to you later. Toodaloo.